People call back and they say, oh yeah, you say you're getting more. So like, what does that mean? What can I get for mine? Blah, blah, blah. You're re-engaging the conversation. That's all you're trying to do with that marketing piece. You're not trying to get a deal over RVM. If you are, you're not doing it right, right? You're re-engaging the conversation. They don't remember what the number was 6 months ago or a year ago. Make sure you're running those hidden equity lists. It sounds like Dan is getting really good traction from, he said 3 times the response on 10 plus years of ownership. Yeah, like I like the 10 plus years of ownership. Again, that's because you've got appreciation in the right place. You got a lot of factors at the right place right now. So that list will probably pop off for you right now. Does that work as good 6 months from now? Who knows? But that's why you just like constantly pull this list. Who's still on it? Hit them again, hit them again. And then guys, again, all this, I cannot stress it enough. All this marketing we talk about, like everybody talks about marketing and lead gen and all this kind of stuff. 80% of the thought goes into that lead gen piece of it, right? That the energy and the activity, without realizing that 80% of everything that's going to happen is coming from when they've already been a lead and they're in your pipeline. That's the activity that really makes stuff happen, right? So do all this cold generation, get them in your pipeline, and then just keep hitting them, right? You don't have to, like, if somebody is absentee owner and you talk to them a year ago, okay, and they're in your CRM and it just didn't work out, if they're not being hit again through whatever you're using to hit your pipeline again, but instead you're having to go pull a list to get to them again, to go try and grab them cold again, you're doing it wrong. You're missing the point because you're setting yourself back to the lowest conversion action again, trying to recapture them. They already raised their hand once. You just couldn't get them to the right place. Cool. Call them again 6 months later. Call them again a year later. Call them again 3 months later. Like whatever's happening in the market. Hey, the market's changed a bunch. You know, we talked a while ago, we couldn't get to the right thing, but here's an RVM for you guys that, like, again, just to help you understand, and then I'll drop off here, just to help you understand what's happening. It's the difference of like where your perspective is versus where your target audience's perspective is, okay? Because all day long, you're talking about and thinking about properties, right? If somebody a year ago or 6 months ago told you, yeah, I might sell it for this, but I'm not really interested, they're not thinking about that again. Like maybe in today's market, but like they're not actively all day long thinking about selling their property, right? Like there's a whole perspective gap that exists in there that you're blind to because you're so connected and you're so close to it, right? So ignore that. Every 6 months, hit them again. Here's the example. And this has worked because I had multiple operations who use this exact template and they crush it on deals, not just on getting a response. Here's what they do. They take everybody in their CRM that they haven't talked to in 3 months or more. Okay? Doesn't matter what they said. Anybody in their CRM. They drop an RVM to them that basically says, hey, it's so-and-so. We spoke a little while back about me trying to buy your property. We couldn't get to an agreement on the price. Good news is I'm looking down at my numbers and I've been buying stuff at like 10, sometimes 20% higher than I was back then. Give me a shout back. Let's talk about your property. Okay. Now, before some of you go, well, oh my God, but the 20% or whatever. Here's what happens. People call back and they say, oh yeah, you say you're getting more. So like, what does that mean? What can I get for mine? Blah, blah, blah. You're re-engaging the conversation. That's all you're trying to do with that marketing piece. You're not trying to get a deal over RVM. If you are, you're not doing it right, right? You're re-engaging the conversation. They don't remember what the number was 6 months ago or a year ago. So like in your head, you're like, oh my God, the 20%. 20% of what? They don't even know what the number is, right? The point is just like, hey, I'm really active right now. I'm doing a lot of deals. Call me back if you want to sell your property. I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying it, right? So you guys understand that all this stuff sitting in your pipeline is where the deals are sitting. If you focus, you still have to do the cold traffic stuff. But if you focus for the next 45 days on taking all the stuff sitting in your CRM already and activating in multiple ways, direct mail, RVM, cold call, with better messaging, right? More targeted messaging, more targeted actions. If you have a sales team who can call these people one-on-one, you call them one-on-one. If you're used to using a dialer, you don't do it through the dialer. You want it as they're further down the pipeline. It's a higher conversion. They're worth more. How would you handle it? It's got to be handled on a level above with whatever your cold traffic is. That's the whole point of doing it that way. Because instead of trying to target 100,000 people, I have 1,000 that I can just now go gangbusters on in different ways. So that needs to be a major focus for you guys in June for sure. and into Q3. And again, I'll leave you with this that I started the call with today. Everything you are doing for marketing over the next 30 days is setting you up for the deals you're going to do in Q3, right? So make sure that make sure you're looking at it that way, whatever that means to you, right? So if it's like, I want to do this number of deals in Q3, so I'll start spending that amount then. No, you got to start doing it this month. This is the month that's going to set up your whole third quarter and get your marketing like really filling your pipeline so that deals start executing the right way in Q3.